Congressman Cardoza is speaking out about his retirement and the scathing words he had for President Obama on Thursday. The Blue Dog Democrat announced he would not seek re-election and blasted the White House, arguing the Obama administration hasn't done enough to fix the housing economy. Cardoza had been facing a tough challenge against a fellow Democrat because of redistricting in California. Here's my interview with him earlier. Joining me now is Congressman Cardoza. Congressman, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me here today.
Absolutely. You've decided not to seek re-election, and you had some harsh words for the administration and some advice, if you will, for voters out there. Why are you leaving, and why did you decide to go out, I guess, with a blast?
Well, I thought it was important. You only get one chance to say goodbye, and I really felt it was important after being here 10 years to say what was on my mind. And frankly, there were two main messages that I wanted to leave. The first one is that the administration hasn't done an adequate job dealing with the foreclosure crisis in America. It's crushing the economy, crushing my constituents. 70% of my folks are underwater in their mortgages, and 30% have already lost their homes. This is a devastating crisis, and I don't believe the administration has acted with adequate urgency. The second thing that I wanted to send a message about was that the moderates that I have been part of in Congress, first of all, got devastated in the last election, but they rarely get listened to by the media. The Blue Dogs that I participate, the Blue Dog Democrats, been talking about the deficit for 15 years, yet the media very rarely focused on it. Now we're in a crisis and everybody's in an uproar, but we've been talking about it for a long time. Had we been able to get the media's attention earlier on in the crisis, we may have been able to avert the crisis.
In your comments, you said voters need to reward statesmanship. Too many Americans are losing faith in our government and our democracy. For our country to change course, voters must aggressively punish extreme partisanship and rhetoric when they cast their ballots. Were you directing that at the Obama administration, this president, or was that directed at Republicans?
Well, a lot of that was directed at the screeching that I hear coming from the Tea Party, and anybody who pounds the podium from the far left or the far right and just tries to make a show of politics.
How do you dare make compromise no longer a naughty or a bad word? Because everybody thinks their idea will work.
Well, when you reach out the olive branch of your hand to shake it with another person and they pull back, the voters can see that if they're paying attention. They need to pay attention to who's pulling back, who says no before the speech is even done. When the
Who's
president
doing
comes
that
to
now?
Congress,
Who's saying no before?
Oftentimes, I heard Eric Cantor recently say no before the president even gotten done talking the other night. Those kinds of folks aren't, in my opinion, moving the dialogue forward. That's just one example.
Congressman Cardoza, thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you again to Congressman Cardoza.